Spain, 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 Portugal!
Welcome to the ultimate guide to Porto.
After scouring the internet and taking walking tours around the city, we have uncovered the best food, must-see spots, and hidden gems.
I'm gonna faint! Whether you're a first-timer or a seasoned traveler,
this is the only video you'll need to experience Porto like a local.
And it all starts off at São Bento Train Station, one of Porto's most stunning landmarks. You don't need to be catching a train to make this place worth a visit. You might be wondering, what makes this station so special? Well, it's the 20,000 hand-painted azulejos, which depict key moments in Portuguese history.
If you are not people that are into gritty cities the way we are, then maybe this isn't the right place for you. The buildings are falling apart, the paint is peeling, but it's that roughness that really gives this city such a cool vibe.
So much character.
I love this. There are two things that you absolutely must try when you're here in Porto. The first is the iconic pastel de nata. This delicious creamy custard tart, often dusted with a touch of cinnamon, is a local favourite that will quickly steal your heart. After some research, we landed at Mantegueria, a charming cafe known for its irresistible tarts, where you can watch the magic happen right before your eyes as they prepare and bake these golden beauties. That is amazing. Now that we have some energy, let's keep exploring. Josie's Happy Place!
Right next door to the cafe and next on our itinerary is Mercado do Bolhão, a vibrant market overflowing with fresh fruits, vegetables, and local delicacies. It's the perfect spot where locals and tourists alike mingle, wine glass in hand, as they shop for fresh produce, sample delicious jams, hot sauces, and much more.
Traditional piri-piri sauce.
So we just got these traditional Portuguese flavored jams and a chocolate paste.
It has to be one of the coolest buildings I've seen here so far.
It's such a nice city to just walk around in, and there are so many photo opportunities.
The sun has finally broken through the clouds! Yeah!
England and Portugal has the longest standing military alliance in the world, dating back all the way to the 14th century. And since England had such a big part in World War I, they felt bad for Portugal, so they gifted them these phone booths as an apology.
Yeah, that should make up for it. Whether you are into healthy eating or not, there's one spot you must check out when you're in Porto: the world's fanciest McDonald's. With its stunning chandeliers and intricate mosaics, this McDonald's feels more like a palace than a fast food joint. It's definitely something you need to see for yourself. But we're in Portugal. You cannot get McDonald's when you are here. In fact, there's something that all the locals tell us we have to try. Otherwise, it doesn't even count that we've been to Porto. And you know we had to get our Porto bottle opener.
There are so many street musicians in such a vibe.
This is definitely something I've never seen before, and they're real birds too.
I'm a little bit scared of birds.
So we are now in Galerie de Paris. At night, this whole place will be absolutely bustling with people. Nightclubs will open up from 11 p.m. all the way until 6 a.m. If you want to party, this is the place. And just around the corner from here is the Lello Bookstore.
But J.K. Rowling actually lived in Porto for a few years when she was writing the Harry Potter books, and was inspired by different things throughout the city, including the robes that they are wearing at the university here in Porto. People saw similarities between this bookstore and the Hogwarts library, so tourists started flooding the place, and there were lines out the door just to go in for a few seconds, take a photo, and walk back out again without buying anything.
Now, of course, that wasn't so good for business, so they started charging €8 to enter, and if you buy a book, then that price is subsidized from the book. She came out on Twitter a few years ago saying that she actually never entered the library here.
From 1933 till 1974, Portugal had a dictator called Antonio Salazar, and he was the longest reigning dictator in Europe. He had this courthouse here behind me built in the 50s in a very fascist type of architecture to show strength, and in front of it is the Lady of Justice. And if you look closely, you can see that there are a few things that are off about it. She has the sword to show strength, but then she also has the scales that are usually balanced. In this statue, however, they're unbalanced, and she also has no blindfold on, which shows how unfair the justice system was during Salazar's reign.
Right next door to the courthouse, you'll find the old prison cells, because nothing quite says vacation like visiting a former prison. Inside, you can explore the cells and learn the stories of some of the prisoners who were once held there. But don't worry, the prison is no longer in use. It's now home to a photography museum showcasing the evolution of cameras from massive clunky machines to the tiny phones that we carry today. There's even a collection of spy cameras. It's amazing to see how far we've come in such a short amount of time. Right next door, be sure to check out the stunning Clerios Church with its beautiful interiors, and if you're up for it, climb Torre dos Clerios for 360-degree views of the city. Well, we know that the pastel de nata is one of the two things that we have to try when we're here in Porto, but what is the second thing? Well, the best place to find out is on the other side of the city. So let's go there now and see if it's worth the hike. Only by reservation, guys. Definitely looks like the place to go. It was packed, the atmosphere was awesome. We have one other place that has been recommended to us. Hopefully there's room for us. So we managed to get a spot at this table, and although it's not the restaurant that we were recommended to at first, this one was also recommended to us by the same person, and it's really important where you go. This sandwich here is stacked. It has beef, it has 2 types of sausages, ham is then covered in cheese, and then an amazing sauce over the top. And the sauce is the most important part, and it's why it matters where you go. It's made with local beer, and it's made in restaurant. Let's give it a shot. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
To say I am full is an understatement.
I'm pregnant with a food baby.
We could not finish the dish, but before we have a heart attack from all of that, we got to walk around the city and walk it off a little bit. So let's take you to some of the best viewing points in Porto.
Your first viewing point is at the stunning Porto Cathedral. Perched on a hilltop, this Romanesque beauty offers some of the best views in the city. The second viewpoint is located at Miradouro da Vitória. From here, you get a completely different perspective, with just as stunning views. Plus, you'll also have a great view of the Porto Cathedral itself.
Definitely not where you want to go. Now, before we show you the third and possibly the most important viewing point in Porto, there's one thing we have to go do first. Here by the river, it is vibing. There are so many people playing music, and if you're wondering about what the best way is to get around the city, then you've got quite a few options. You've got a boat tour, which will take you through all 6 bridges. You've got public transport on the metro, or if you want, you've got Uber and Bolt. Bolt seems to be the way to go. There'll be better prices and quicker to come get you. Next, and possibly the most important thing to do in Porto, is a port wine tasting. After all, this is where the name port comes from, so it's practically a requirement. We were recommended to visit Callum, but unfortunately, sold out again. No worries though, we wandered a few doors up to the oldest port wine house, founded all the way back in 1638. Here, they've got ports for every budget, so even if you're not a big port drinker, but you're a when in Porto kind of person, you can still enjoy the experience without breaking the bank, and with an incredible view over the river to top it off. Port tasting is finished. Time to hurry up, get to the top of this hill, to get to the third best view in time for sunset. We made it.
I'm gonna faint.
The final viewing point is Jardim do Moro, the perfect spot to watch the sunset after a full day of exploring. It's where both locals and tourists gather to enjoy a drink, relax, and soak in the views, all while enjoying some great music.
If you still haven't had enough of eating like a local, we highly recommend a restaurant called Local. Here we had a chance to try some amazing traditional Portuguese dishes that truly gave us a taste of the local flavors.
That makes up 24 hours in the beautiful city of Porto.
It's such an amazing city, and I really recommend coming here.
Now, if you like this video, make sure to
hit the like button.
If you want to see more,
subscribe.
And we'll see you all again
in the next one. Ciao.
So we just stopped for some ice cream that I just dropped on the floor.
It was like 50 cents worth of ice cream.
This was a very expensive ice cream.